go, there we go, there we go. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Sure, it's been a while. Feels like forever and an age. But somehow it looks like we got a bit of the timing off center this week. Not 100% sure how all of that has happened though. But nonetheless, it is what it is at this present state in time. Bathurst round 2 version 2 is what I kind of call it this week. ACC console boys in the house. Wednesday night championship series being talked about all over the show. So the guys are currently running around in their free practice session, getting elbows out, making sure they can do what is needed if and when it is required. And then of course we look at it after the Friday night practice session at 10 a.m. in the morning. We're going to kick off with a qualifying session of 10 minutes, and then of course we're going to have the 1 hour race scheduled, hopefully with lots of fun and entertainment. Again, everyone out there, good evening to you. Last week was one of those scenarios where we just had a great start to a race. Checked out the boys on console, worked their way through the field, and then all of a sudden in mid-race conditions we experienced a catastrophic failure on the server end. So woof, having a look at stalls at the moment, getting it all wiggly through, coming down the S's at the mountain, and then of course gotta go and find what I would believe is our championship leader, Mr. Jakes Fatikaki. So let's bring everyone up to speed to where we are at this moment. This is round 5 of our LNR ACC Wednesday Night Console Series Challenge. And again, the championship has been ongoing since probably for the last month or so. Next week will hopefully be our final round. Championship standings at this moment in time is Jakes Fatikakni in his Mercedes, followed by Gavbeek, Marius, Eleanor, Checo, and then Zero Racer, rounding up the top 5 of a what I would call fantastic championship battle thus far. We've had a multiple mix range of individuals winning races. We have had lots of various strategies at play all over the showcase, but just don't go by my word. In all fairness, just check it out, have some fun, and do love and support us. Now this evening I don't have my co-commentator with me. He has somehow been affected by what we call the flu bug ill. It's in the winter period in South Africa, so most of the individuals down there is going to be known to get a bit of flu, bit of sickness here and so forth. So you're kind of stuck with me the whole evening. I'm going to try and keep it as entertaining as I can. Got to give it up and a big shout out to our other communities that has helped us made this a brilliant championship. So the boys from SSR, Sonic Simracing community, as displayed there on the screen, and then of course we have the other gentlemen's I would say with us as well, that I gotta give a big shout out to and a big thanks to them. Again, all our races on console for Assetto Corsa Competizione is hosted or driven by SimGrid. So if you want to get involved, get in there, whether it's a Wednesday night run of the Rail Mill Championship where we do 1 hour short races, or a monthly endurance race, whereby our first PlayStation 5 race will take off next month, along with our PlayStation 4 endurance challenge session. So we try and cater for both of the two and giving the wider, broader spectrum. of the playing field a time to come and challenge themselves on ACC. So don't be shy. Do head out, give us a like, subscribe, register, and see if you're up for a good challenge. Again, from a service perspective, most of our service is hosted in the European region. So again, those guys in the wild eater realm that are mostly concerned about pings, I would probably say don't be that worried, because again, we go all the way down to this beautiful Lamborghini going up and around the mountain. This individual, Mr. Brett Butler Racing, is all the way from Australia. And then of course we've got individuals all the way from South Africa, aka Jake's here, Kuda Vars, and so forth. A bit of a high ping all over the cross show, but that's purely because the location of where our server is. I think the individual that's very lucky at this stage is Mr. Various guy there sitting there with his McLaren, all snuggy and comfortable. So this is where we are. The practice session is now done and dusted. We're going to kick off with a 10-minute qualifying session, so don't go away. We will be back very shortly. Here we go, back from our fantastic break that we just had. This is the qualifying session. 10 minutes of these boys are going to hit it on the track. Ping is all over the show this evening. Don't know what is actually going on. I think in some other form scenario, South African servers are not happy with what the connection is to the Northern Hemisphere side. Nonetheless, I'm going to hope for some good racing. I hope these guys are going to see each other. And I do hope we don't have interference that is going to deter us from racing this evening. So, back in a flash, back in the midnight, 10 minutes of qualifying session. We are kicking it off. These boys are out on track at the moment, getting their tires warmed up, getting it all suited for what is we about to expect is an eventful evening. And it kind of feels like I'm talking in circles, because I want to say too many things at the same time, but I should just calm down and slow down a bit. Plenty of time available for these boys. As I'm currently looking at both T. Scott, who's pulling to the side of the road. He's probably not happy about something. And then of course leaving his fellow teammate stalls there to just go ahead and get on with it. Not so sure what has happened to T. Scott there, but they were looking beautifully going up the mountain, following each other in their identical livery color scheme. Which I have to admit I do love. Like, it's been just their signature the whole season long. Again, not far from stalls there, I can see in the vast distance is Insomnia 8-bit. Coming down the mountain, getting ready to do his first quick qualifying session. He has been a man lurking in the background for the whole championship, but I do believe one of the consistent drivers we have, entering Murray's corner, getting a better exit for him so that he can start the journey of putting a good lap time down. A couple of guys has been ahead of him. That does look like G. Scott there or Stolz, one or the other. Also going back to the Lexus there, driven by Springbok Gamer. Now from memory, because we had a half of a race last week, Springbok Gamer managed to put a front grid qualifying session. Did not have the best of race starts, so I'm guessing this evening he's going to try and pull another rabbit out of the bag, put it on the front grid, if not pole position, which will then allow him to have a hopeful and good race from there on. That is, unless we have some accidental incidents here or there. Another individual I'm also going to keep my eye out on is the man in the Bentley, Assetto Racer, who drove like a wild beast last week. I think this is him putting up his first penultimate lap time. No, still not yet. The only individual that has put a lap down is Mr. Michael Stefanak. Michael is new to the LNR community, has done a couple of races with us. An individual very comfortable in the McLaren, featuring this beautiful baby blue livery. Currently on pole, and I would say preliminary on pole, but looking at that time that he put down at 2:03.4 is definitely phenomenal, considering the individual that is not far off him, Mr. Kudavaz, in his Audi. And again, it does look like these boys are drifting side by side. Kind of think there's a bit of a big ping issue at this moment. Now, I don't know what the issue is at this stage, but there are a certain amount of individuals struggling this evening with the internet connection. Now, whether it be their connection to the server, as I've mentioned before, or the other way around, but it's just not looking fantastically great. Jake's championship leader, he has put a time lap down. His connection to the server isn't great though. However, it does look far more stable than what we just observed from the Audi driver there, number 10. Again, you can see Jake slowing down, wanting to do something. And right behind him is Assetto Racer, which I believe is going to put down a good lap time now as we speak. Yep, that is a great time, 2:02.39 by Assetto Racer. Now, he did show last week that he's got the pace. I'm about 99% confident to state that he is loving this track. But not far from him is Mr. Marius. Now, Marius, on the other hand, in a Porsche with a lap time just underneath the 2:03 section. Gotta admit, that is quick. I don't know what he has done, but somehow over the week since last week, he has injected a couple of nitrous bottles in there. But he is certainly looking very comfortable. Ooh, as he gets a bit fiddly going down the mountain there. And that's going to be a severe damage point for him. Pulls the car aside, goes back into the pits. 2 minutes left. I don't think he's going to have enough time to do another lap though. Gaff Peak on the other hand is another individual. I'm finding out where he is. He's predominantly known as a man that will put it on pole here or there. And this evening, he just hasn't had the opportunity to do anything. Don't know if he is struggling at this state, but he is certainly not where I would have expected him to be this evening. Time was of the essence here because he's only got another 1 minute 40 to get around track and hopefully put a lap time down as he exits the pit. And I think by exiting the pit, he sort of realizes that he might not be able to make it. The top four at this moment: Michael Stefanik, Springbok Gamer, the man that did put it in second position last week, is currently in fourth. Grimjaw, individual with the Audi, currently in fifth. LNR Checo, hyping scenario all over the show. And again, I don't think it's the individuals having the problem. To me, it looks like it's some other connection issue that we just cannot control. Various guy, second fastest McLaren at the stage. He's still got a good bit of time to try and improve on his lap time. Now he's trying to outrun Jakes there, but also at the same time get ahead of Insomnia and T. Scott and them who's in the pits. Can he improve on this lap? Does so. Bounces ahead there of Jakes. Still has one lap to do what is needed. Jakes, on the other hand, has got a lot of work to do for him. I think from a Merc perspective, the car is well suited and balanced for Mount Panorama, aka Bathurst. Whether he can get it around quick enough to put it up there by him to be in the top 5 or even in pole position, he needs to make up a lot of time. 2 seconds is plenty of hard work for him. Zero Racer is currently the man sitting in pole, and to me it looks like he is very comfortable where he is at this stage. And by the looks of them, Marius is comfortable there in second, Grimjaw in third, Michael Stefanik in fourth, and we got Springbok in fifth. Only a few guys still on track. Does Checo improve on his time? No, Checo still remains in 6th place. Various guys making his way down the mountain at the moment. Again, still only a few individuals that needs to make up time. Here is Hulse, 666. Final corner for him. At Murray's. Does he make up a bit of time? Yeah. He has definitely made up some time. Situation is now back to race conditions. So let's go look at that time frame. Qualifying positions. Fastest lap thus far. Zero Racer 1. Marius B70 in his Porsche is currently second. Then of course we have Grimjaw SD in 8th with his Audi R8 LMS. And when we head off into the 203 mark range, we've got Michael Stefanik in a McLaren, Springbok Gamer in 5th position with his Lexus RCF, LNR Checo with his Bentley, again second fastest Bentley thus far on track in car 777 with a 2038, Jakes Fatikaki in 7th, Puruvas in 8th, Various Sky in 9th, and then of course rounding it off in 10th position, Insomnia Pit. And like I said, this is kind of very interesting qualifying session. Not what I would have expected in overall. There's a couple of surprises here and there. I think I'm going to pin out what the biggest surprise is for me. So, Gav Beek, a man always known to be at the front end, didn't set a qualifying session, nor did RVR 18 SL Violence and Language. So, he's definitely not there. Two Scots and Stalls are very well positioned this week. Kuravaz in his Audi looks great. Jakes, in my humble opinion, has got a lot of work to do from his point of view. But again, I'm not going to take it away from the top three boys that have managed to put it on the front end of the grid with a time just below 203. So that is great drive and timing there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give it to like a helicopter view for the time being. Again, this is the warm-up lap going to take place now. Gives these boys a bit of a moment to get themselves centered and get themselves focused, and then hopefully we can have a superb, as they've illustrated throughout the season, clean race. And I think from any community perspective, plenty of guys can definitely take a couple of lessons from these boys. They have just driven superbly throughout the whole season for the last 5 races. I would go 5.5. So we had half a race last week, and it's just been absolutely fabulous. So for the boys on the stream, I would go take out your notepad, take out your documents, whatever you do, and take notes. Console boys, in all fairness, has got it marked out as probably one of the best clean start racing boys I've seen in a long while. And again, that's sort of very interesting, considering that we are a combination of sim racers from 3 different communities. So again, for those who have joined, welcome to everyone else. This gives me the opportunity to say big thanks to the boys at Sargo Sim Racing, a community predominantly always known for their project cars racing, again local to South Africa. Then of course also a big thanks to the boys at Sonic Sim Racing. I think they do feature both PC and ACC console racing. Yet to confirm whether that is true or not, but again, big ups to them, local to South Africa sim racing community. And then you are all welcome, and here at Logistical Nightmare, again, anyone that wants to find out where we are, who we are, what we are all about, we are on all social media platforms available in the market currently, which is your Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and so forth. All our communication on racing events is hosted and discussed on our Discord channel. I am your host this evening, Sean, aka Sharks Forever, aka Sharks. The boys on the stream, Niall Bullion, giving you a big shout out. Hi, good evening, welcome, thanks for joining. Duncan Hutchings, the man who's giving a massive shout out there to Hell's 66, who we currently have on stream, and he's bright neon, I'm gonna go with neon yellow, neon green Porsche. I think my wife is gonna call me colorblind, and I probably have to agree with it. It's one of the two. I think at any given stage, ask me what type of beer I'm drinking, I'll probably be more accurate in answering that, as opposed to the different types of color. So this is quite tricky. Back to the sim racing boys. These boys are getting ready as we going down Conrad Straight, followed by the chase, and then everyone's gonna go double file next to each other into Murray's Corner, lining up for the race start, where I'm hoping to see an epic 60 minutes of racing, 1 hour of racing, where mandatory pit stop is needed for a tire change session scenario. And again, pit window will only open 20 minutes after the race has started. So any incidents and accidents that do occur in between that is going to be, or should I say, going to create a detrimental race for these individual boys. Take a moment to zone in, focus. Look where we are.
Green light, go.
Green light is on. Oops. I'm going to try and do this as quickly as I can to get ahead of the pack. This is where we started off. Hopefully not see any incidents this week. Couple of boys going far behind the turning wall circle over there. But to be fair, out of Hull's corner, and it looks to be accidental free as Assetto Racer goes down all the way up the mountain straight with a massive lead towards Marius. Now, that is one of the most phenomenal start of the races that I've ever seen in a while. He's practically just won the race by doing that. Marius, on the other hand, is under severe pressure there by, it looks to be Kudu Vaz in the Audi. Michael Stefanak has gained a couple of positions. So has Jake. So as the deltas and everything lines up and follows it through as we go through all the sectors, we will soon find out who is who in the zoo. At this moment, I don't believe it's 100% what I am seeing. Because if I go back, Checo is a man that sits way at the back, and I don't know what has happened to him, but he has certainly had some incident, and I think RVR has had some involvement of that as well. Now he's following down the scum there. So let's go back to where the action is. Front of the grid, boys have gotten down the mountain. Just picking it up where we have left off. Mario is trying to chase down Assetto Racer. He is being hunted down by the Audi in Grimjaw. So 3 mid-rear engine cars chasing down a Bentley. Now this is the opposite of what I would have expected to see. And again, from recollection, I do believe that the front engine cars are way stronger at Mount Panorama than what mid-rear engine is. So today, I am being shocked, in all fairness. Race is on, however. Assetto Racer, who I'm probably only going to see now and maybe not again soon, has left a massive gap between himself and Marius. So he is certainly up there trying to prove a point, and I don't know whether that point is that he loves the track, but dominance, signs of dominance is for certainly shown at the beginning of the race. Anthony on the stream going high. He is a Go Kuda fan, so let's go look at it if I can find Kuda Vaz. Kuda Vaz has gone way down the back though. He is in the pit at the moment. That doesn't look like a very happy Audi at all. Unfortunately, I'm not able to do or bring you any signs of replays here. So both him and Checo coming into the repair their cars. Now, like I said at the beginning, that is going to be very hard on both these individuals trying to come back from that and simultaneously getting into a better racing format. So, sorry, Anthony, I hate to bring bad news to you, but Kudu Vaz has got a lot of work on him just to try and finish, because he's going to sit there for a bit and then he is going to come out with a lap down at least to the race leaders. Again, another car there sitting on the sideline. All I see is yellow coming in to the chase. Do I see a car? Not at all. Again, maybe an individual that has gone to the pits. Kudu Vaz and Checo is definitely remaining in the pits at this stage. So they will be one lap down, which is going to be a tough race for them trying to come back. Top 3 boys running it all the way through. Gotta give shout out to these boys at this stage. Michael Stefanok in fourth with the McLaren. He's being chased down there by Springbok Gamer in the Lexus. Lexus having a great race at this moment. Various Sky and it looks like Brett Butler who are having a bit of a race there. One or the other weren't happy with each other. Insomnia but gathering to collect himself, but also gaining positions there. So he is now chasing down, I think that's Various, yes, who is being followed by T. Scott in now officially 8th position. And then Butler racing in the Lamborghini, only Lamborghini on track, has lost 2 positions just because of Al's corner. Ooh, as T. Scott makes a bit of a fumble there. Heading into that corner, perhaps just outbraked himself a little. Creating a bit of oversteer. Not ideal in conditions. Ooh, Various guy touching the walls. Now that is going to compromise him from a speed perspective. Big accidents, big incidents there. I have to admit, I think Ping has got a lot to do here at this moment. I am not 100% sure if the guys can see each other, because that's what it looked like there to me. That was an incident between Insomnia and Various Guy. Something is not fantastically well. Let's try and refocus again. So Various Guy went into the pit immediately. I don't think the gentlemen are very happy this evening. I would not be. It just does not look as smooth as what we have hoped for. The connections between the racing guys all over the show is just painful to watch, is what I would call it. I think the race is still on and it will still continue to go. So where's my co-commentator this evening? Asked by now. Co-commentator Tater is off. Apparently flu has struck him down. So I don't expect to see him this evening. I'm all alone this evening. Gonna try and keep this as entertaining as I can. Or maybe I should start talking less. This is what I'm going with. So, let's go back in the action. These 3 boys are definitely battling it out at this stage. Still a few individuals in the pits. Gaffbeak in the pits as well. He is not having the best of races as well. Various Sky in the pits. That's because of an incident that did occur between himself and Insomnia, which to me looked like a bit of a lag issue. And again, more lag. I don't know how to explain this evening. It just looks very unsettled this evening. And that unsettledness will not be very easy, because as you can see at this stage, I mean, Kuravaz, not known, and I cannot remember ever seeing this individual struggling with Ping, nor can I recall seeing Checo, who's in his Bentley, struggling with Ping, but both these boys are really not within what I would expect to see limitations of sim racing. So that 200 plus Ping in between in each driver is going to be quite tough. So let's go back to the front of the grid where the battles will continue. Serra Racer at this stage has created about a 3.5 second delta between himself and Marius. Marius is being chased down by Grimjaw, so these 2 boys are fighting it out very hard. I think from a championship point of view, to be honest, Grimjaw definitely needs a good result for him to see if he can climb back the ladder with all the points that he managed to take 1 victory in race 1. and then see if he can challenge the boys up ahead. Marius, on the other hand, I believe is really trying to capitalize this evening and take as much as he can get away from his fellow sim racing driver, who I cannot see at this moment. Jakes is not there. Jakes is out. Jakes is no longer with us. So Jakes Fatikaki, aka the man in the Merc, is no more in the server. He has subsequently, seemingly, potentially, has had a catastrophic failure. So much things has happened. Yep, confirmation. One individual has had a bad race, and Jakes has had a DC disconnect. That is confirmed. So, not a good note for Jakes, the current leader of the championship. That does open the door for Marius to get maximum points at this moment before we end off with next week's race. As we watch the Porsche climb the mountain, heading all the way to the upper end, avoiding all the walls left, right, middle and center. And that is a Bentley in front of him. Now that will be a blue flag Bentley. Uncertain who that is, but he is getting out of the way, out of this battle though. Let's just see who that is. It's not Checo, so it would be Drew. Drew the Great, making his way through. You can see he's far much slower than anyone else, but he is committed to do the race and finish the race. So again, big ups to this individual, trying to do the best he can and learn from it. Again, we're not all about the fast and the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. We're all about understanding and learning sim racing simultaneously. Michael Stefanak there, passing the blue flag boy. Does so gracefully. And he's about 4 seconds adrift from the boys ahead of him. Marius and Grimjaw battling it out as they continue this battle the whole way through, and I think this is just going to get more and more entertaining as this goes along. I think in general these two boys are on similar pace to one another. It's just who is going to be the one that can manage to outwit and outlast the other. Look at me talking survivor talk here. Hey, going back to the Lambo here. A man from Australia that doesn't even have such a high ping at this moment, which I still don't understand. I mean, Brett Racing is racing all the way from Australia, which in UK terms is probably a 24-hour flight away from us, and he doesn't even have such a bad ping. So I don't know what is going on in South Africa or wherever these guys are actually from, but some of the individuals are really struggling. Now he is being chased down there by an Audi, which I believe is Kudavaz right behind him. Yeah, Kudavaz is behind him. I don't think Brett is going to give that man a moment to pass him. So he's going to make it hard for a back marker to try and unlap himself. But it's all about positions. And I think that's probably the question I should put out there. I mean, what is the general term and theory? If you have a back marker that is supposedly quicker than you during the course of the race, is it far wiser for you to let him go and carry on his own race, or do you not focus on him? And if he is that quick, he will find a way to pass you. It's a tough one. Some say let him go. Some say I don't care. And others say if he needs to make a move, he needs to make it cleanly and get it done. Which, as you can see there, is actually quite difficult, concerning these two individuals have got their own things to be stressed about. I think when it's times like this where we have such a wide range of connection points, people really need to be way more cautious to one another than anything else, because again, what might look like an incident here may not be an incident at all. Again, Brett, he is again under pressure there, and that looks like Checo behind him. Is that? Yeah, that is Checo trying to make his way through the field. Brett, on the other hand, taking a relaxed stance at the moment, allowing these guys to go because he's got his own race to do. And Brett currently sitting in 8th position. Worst case scenario for him is he doesn't want anyone to interfere in his race and just contain as best as he could. The field, however, is very widely spread at this stage. 43 minutes still left in the race. 4 minutes about before the pit stops actually opens and allow these boys to go in and do some repairs. In all fairness, if I was them, I would probably try and push it for as long as I can. Hopefully maximizing your output and then minimizing your input for the last 20 minutes or so. But that all depends on how quickly these boys actually want to go in, get into the pits, get whatever damages they have collected throughout the first 20 minutes of the race and get that fixed out. Let's go back to the front of the leaders. Marius this evening has now managed to create a bit of a gap between himself and Grimjaw. Question stands at this moment. Has Grimjaw made a mistake, or is he slowing down because of some aero damage? Or is it just all tactical at this stage? I think that's the bigger question, is how do you plan to tackle the mountain at any given moment? Darks from Milan, good evening there. Racing looks good. I have to admit it's very good. From a starting point of view, now that you touch on that, racing start was phenomenally clean. I think I noted 1 or 2 small minor incidents which I couldn't pick up at all. How that unveiled, I'm not too sure. But I think the biggest challenge this evening, for some other strange reason, is the connection issues to the server. There is a huge, huge is probably a big word. There's quite a bit of sim races this evening that has got a severe high ping connection to our server. So I don't really know what and why that has occurred, but other than that, which I believe some of that is what has caused some of the racing incidents, other than that, it looks really good. Top 3 boys are moving away from Michael Stefanak, who's currently in 4th. And now Serra, on the other hand, had a big gap between himself and Marius, but has somehow decreased because of a slight incident that he made coming down the mountain. So battle is still on and still continuing to do so. I'm gonna go and give you a bird's eye view from a Porsche perspective. Gotta admit, that looked smooth. Smooth and gentle. Throttle, input, accelerations, brake balance, everything just looked beautiful there from Marius. It feels like I'm over complimenting a Porsche this evening, which is not me. Never me. But it is what it is this evening. Pit window has opened. Now, from a pit window standpoint, these boys have to go into the pits, change their tires, and then get out there, do the best they can. So, mandatory tire pit required. Only 20 minutes of a pit window that is allowed. It's going to bring some dynamics at play because I am yet to figure out and understand whether a undercut will help you gain advantage, or is everyone working towards a potential overcut scenario. So let's go back at the grid. Let's see if there's a bit more action here. D Scott having a great race thus far, currently in 8th. Looking good with probably one of the fastest Aston Martins in the field. Now he's going to go into the pits, and by the looks of that I can fully understand why that has happened. Plenty of boys diving in. Insomnia in, Stalls in. We've got Checo back in the pits again. Gaspik hasn't moved from his position. So plenty of individuals diving into the pits the minute the pit window did open. So I'm guessing they're going for whatever has occurred, getting it fixed out. Drew the Great in his Bentley is now being challenged by Kuravaz behind him, who appears, reappears, disappears kind of thing. I hope these boys take care of how they race this evening. I think it will be very difficult to judge one another going up the mountain. Drew, by the sounds and looks of it, trying to keep his nose clean thus far, has gained positions from where he has started. Wants to have a good race. Kuravaz is quick, we all know that. I've seen that, I've observed that. But tonight, his connection is very, very questionable, so I think he's probably going to try and make a move down the straight. Get that all done and dusted. It's going to be hard because even though that Audi is quick, so is the Bentley here. For some strange reason. Some individuals might disagree with me, but I really think the Bentley is quite quick and rapid down the straights at Mount Panorama. Drew doing everything that is right, following his racing line, making Kuravaz work for it. Kuravaz staying out. Drew going into the pits. Brett, on the other hand, still hasn't gone into the pits. He is gaining positions as everyone is pitting. Lambo seems to be on fire. Again, this is a man from Australia, one of his favorite tracks. I think it's about the only time we see Brett or Butler Racer wake up in the early morning of the day to come and race at Logistical Nightmares is if and when we host a Bathurst race. So big ups to him. I don't know what time it is for him to race, but I love the enthusiasm. I respect the man that wakes up at 3-4 o'clock in the morning to come and race a race that is predominantly held at night time for the European / Central African boys. Big ups to him for doing that. I don't know how many of us can sit back and go, we will do that. He is certainly a man that loves this track way more than anyone else that I do know, and that's myself included. Oh, Drew getting a drive-through for speeding in the pit lane. That's gonna cause a bit of havoc for him as he filters his way out right behind Marius. So he's got a sandwich between him. Well, he's a bologna in between the two bread buns. So he's gonna force him to go back into the pits and serve that penalty. None of the top 6 boys at this moment has dashed into the pits yet, trying to extend their current situation for as long as they can. Still plenty of time on the clock, so anything can happen. Let's see where we are. Let's go big fresh reminder to everyone on stream. Let's go quick look at the points standing position. Jake's leader of the championship, not really gonna get anything done and dusted today. Gaffbeek also has been in the pits since the start of the race, not had a wonderful start. Marius, however, the man we're looking at this moment, is definitely on a move there to gain as much as he can from a points position, and Checo also in the pits, and so is Cerro. So the two individuals that's going to gain a lot is Marius and Cerro Racer, which is quite interesting. That's now going to topsy-turvy the whole championship from where it stands. Lots to gain, plenty to lose. But having said that, there is that one throwaway racer we can have, so that doesn't mean you do well here overall the championship, you're going to win it. There is 1 or 2 individuals that hasn't been in a position to join all the 6 races throughout the championship, or has had a bad race, so that's just going to bring the dilemma and the calculations up to a different level. So for any other individuals out there, I am going to go and give a shout out to our Patreons and the subscribers. Thanks to those boys helping us make Logistical Nightmare Sim Racing a lot better. Again, you can find us at Discord, Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. Okay, let's go find some interesting racing. Springbok Gamer, a man I've only talked about at the start of the race, the only individual with a Lexus at this moment. Now, he's a man that I've always seen in his Lexus, and he definitely loves it. I haven't seen him race in any other car but the Lexus. Let's give up a moment here and enjoy a bit of Lexus screen time. I gotta give that, like, I have to give some serious brownie points is what I would probably call it there to through the grade. I mean, he might be a slow driver or not very comfortable with sim racing at the moment, but he is giving it a 100% full go at it and doing the best he can. But again, compliments has to be given, because every time someone comes in close proximity to him, he directs the traffic in such a way to indicate, this is where I'm going to be, please go to the other side. And he does that to every single racer that passes him. So I'm going to give the man a big compliment. I go like, that is pure great driving etiquette there from through the grade. 323 car 999. Fantastic there from him. Ooh, as an Audi goes way off the bandwagon there. Now that's definitely not Grimjaw. And it's also not Kuduvar. So that's got to be Discom 99911T.
You're halfway through, keep pushing.
got it a bit wrong at the top of the mountain. Still continue to giving it a go. It doesn't look like that Audi has got a bit of damage or not. So he's managed to save it. Again, how he did that with going over the grass and the curbs and all that is tremendous skill. I think this evening gives me a time just to sit and look at the rest of the class and the individuals on the sim racing side. So the Scum 911, new to Logistical Nightmare Racing. Let's see if I can find a bit of details on these individuals. Doing a bit of search. So, the Scum. Grid finder racer. Currently driving most of his season thus far at LNR ACC. And his overall championship has not been very bad at all, giving it all he can. Nationality is from South Africa. Full name is Armand Botha. So welcome Armand, aka Scum, to Logistical Nightmare Racing. Let's see if we can find more information to all the individual drivers right there. Leader of the race, however, is Mr. Assetto Racer. Gotta go and look a bit more. Assetto Racer is a Switzerland nationality. Again, that is very good to know though. It shows you how vast the grid is at this stage. So Assetto Racer from Switzerland has been driving at Logistical Nightmare ACC Racing thus far. Has had 4 starts, 1 win and 1 podium, and has managed to finish in the top 10 3 times thus far, and holds the fastest lap of the season. So again, this brings you a broader perspective, and I'm getting all this beautiful information of our sim racing drivers on SimGrid, whereby we now have the abilities, with the help of the SimGrid community, managed, hosted by our fan favorite GT3 driver, Mr. David Burrell, sponsoring some of our events at Logistical Nightmare. But it gives us the good focus and fuel to build a profile of racing, because that is sort of what we all love. We don't just climb onto a console or onto a rig or behind the PC to just race and then walk away from it. It's all about building the profile and having that ability to locate and view and see your achievement. So big ups there to Assetto Racer at this stage. I'm gonna go and just go look for Marius as well, who's hunting Assetto down as we speak. That delta is being slowly coming down lap by lap. So Marius is a South African nationality, has had 4 sim racing starts at Logistical Nightmares, managed to place himself in 2 podiums thus far, similar characteristics and top 10 results as Assetto Racer, being 3 times in the top 10. but hasn't managed to get that win or W for him thus far. So if it continues as it is at this moment, this is definitely going to give him another podium win situation with a top 10 count. Zero Racer on the other hand is going to pick up another victory for him. That's going to be 2 in a row. Grimjaw, the man currently in third, he has gone into the pits far earlier than the rest of the guys. And this is sort of where I want to figure out whether an undercut will work or an overcut is the better option. And something tells me that the best choice would be an undercut, but I'm yet to be proven wrong. So the boys are still in the pits. Doesn't look like they have moved. I can see they're both getting out there. Porsche is out. He is definitely ahead of Grimjaw. So nothing really gained there. Now Grimjaw on the other hand has had 4 race starts at LNR, managed to have 1 victory, 1 podium, 2 top 10 finish, and then of course also a fastest lap. So this is just fantastic stats to gather from these boys. And again, I think everyone goes back just to look and see what they've done and achieved, but as a reminder to everyone out there, even the sim racing boys, go out to the simgrid.com, head over to Logistical Nightmares. If you do race with us or other communities, go check out your profile. It will give you a better understanding and overview of your statistics, your race win, your victories, your fastest lap records. If it's done and captured properly, you will have all the details there. Big battle currently at this moment between Michael Stefanak and of course Springbok Gamer. So after all the pit stop that has been done thus far, except for the 2 individuals that hasn't done their pit stop yet, Michael and Stefanak is very close to one another at this stage. Now of course they've got Drew the Great there ahead of him in his baby blue Bentley, but I think Drew will definitely give away as soon as he can as being one of the most cautious driver I've seen. That is going to bring this battle far closer than what it is expected to be. Drew is going to see the wave blue flags, moves on to the outside, puts his car out of position, lets the boy go on and carry on the battle again. Once again, you can see him doing the indication on his Bentley, showcasing to everyone where is he going to be, what line is he choosing to take. This battle is going to continue. So we have Lexus versus McLaren. That Lexus, in all fairness, looks quick down the straight line speed. Michael going instantaneously defensive, trying to cover it off as best he can. Goes defensive again in Murray's corner. Is Springbok going to take the wide? No, it does not. Michael back on the defense into Hell's corner, takes the inside line. Forces Springbok to take the wider line. Now that probably is going to compromise him coming up the mountain, because I think that Lexus is far better in speed, and that is just one of those opportunities that I think Lexus is going to take the outside line, which is probably the best racing line, and take that position cleanly from him. Although they have decided to go side by one another, which I don't think was the best choice there at the moment. Oh, hurtful. Bit of damage here and there. Michael definitely has a lot of damage. Now he is not gonna be a happy man. What an absolute unfortunate incident there between the two. Side by side racing there, coming into quarry is very, very dangerous. Unless you know exactly where that man is, on your left or on your right, it's just a recipe for disaster. And if Michael did manage to climb up the curb, that will unsettle his car for sure. which will then push him into the other car. Again, I'm putting out there hypothetical theories at this stage, but that was just one of those things where it was not meant to be or not meant to happen. How much damage occurred, that is still to be determined. But we will review that maybe after the race, because again, I am not the steward and I'm not stewarding at all. So, unfortunate incident. Position gained, however, by Springbok Gamer. To be fair, I think he was in his rights to challenge for that position, had and placed his car in the racing line. I just think it's probably also one of those scenarios whereby he came across too quickly. Stefanak did not want to give that position away that easily, which wanted to create some side-by-side racing. Didn't happen and didn't bring us the best outcome, but that is where we are. Zero Racer, leader of the race. Let's go back to the boys running in front. He is being chased down by the Porsche. You can hear the Porsche in the background. Zero will probably know and be very well aware that if he makes a mistake, this is his race to lose. 20 minutes left on the clock. Plenty of action all round. Guys are fairly spread out at the moment. Car 42 or 44 it looks like made a bit of a mistake there at the bottom of the hill. It's not 44. Now let's go look at the other boys. RVR 18 SL SNVL. Holy crap, how do you pronounce that? See if I can find a bit of details of this man. All the way from Cape Town. 4 races on SimGrid thus far. Has had 1 top 10 finish. Today, if he continues to do what he does, gonna make it his 2nd top 10 finish. Most certainly having a great day. And if we look at the whole RVR thing, it seems to be short for Ronaldo van Roy, which is very good to know now. And again, I am just speculating at this moment that PlayStation RVR equals Ronaldo van Roy. In my head, I go like, that makes obvious sense to me. But he is looking very comfortable in his Bentley, trying to chase down Insomnia, who is 26 seconds ahead of him. T. Scott, however, is very far from RVR, so you can kind of get an idea of how fairly spread out the field is. Stefan Haag is coming up the mountain at this stage. The mountain straight into Quarry, where he had the incident with Springbok Gamer. Probably not the ideal scenario there, but he is over here, and Insomnia, who's in 6th place, is only now going up the mountain straight. So the gap is quite significant. The field is spread out quite widely between everyone else. Something has occurred. Marius in the lead at the stage. Missed the whole battle somewhere along the line. Zero Racer must have made another mistake. And again, like I said not so long ago, it only takes one small incident to create a massive disappointment in you. So 15 minutes of racing on the clock. Marius, current leader at this stage. And he's got a Bentley chasing him down. Quite the opposite to where we were not so long ago. And from the looks of it, it doesn't seem like that Bentley is very happy at this stage, because it seems to have lost a bit of straight line speed. Well, whether that's going to cause him a bit of understeer or oversteer, I am not so certain. I cannot see any damage though, but he is certainly losing a lot of time to that Porsche. A whole 2 seconds in half a lap made up already there by Marius. Now it's all about survival. How do you survive? How do you outlast this? How do you manage to control your car and make it work for you all the way through? Marius has got a bit of traffic there in front of him. He's got Various Sky there, followed by REVR. Now Various Sky hasn't had a great race. He's currently in 13th. Opening up the door for the leader, both of them making way. Is that going to be Various also taking an opportunity, making his position, unlapping himself, however? Because again, lots of work for Various Sky. Had a bit of an incident at the beginning. He now has the opportunity to create a bit of a gap between himself and RVR. RVR, who's currently in 7th, has got nothing to lose. It's all about gaining and maintaining. So he knows the man ahead of him has got to do a whole lap and pass other individuals before that competition is on. Zero Racer, 4 seconds away from Marius. He has lost a lot of time. And that's just going to make it so much harder because Grimjaw is now within 3 seconds of Zero. A man that came and put his car in pole position is now falling backwards quite rapidly. This is a battle for survival, and I'm actually kind of shocked. I really don't see any damage. The Switzerland Finn, the man that has led and dominated the mountain thus far, is really, really struggling. Again, more time gained there by Grimjaw. Zero must know that he's losing so much time. And if this continues, depending on where Springbok is, he might lose another position. So I am hoping and being hopeful that a podium place is where he will end up with, but I am not so sure. So looking at the deltas, it's about a 28-second gap between him and Springbok. So he should be safe. I don't think Springbok Gamer has got it in him to capitalize on that within 12 minutes. That is going to be a big ask. That's about 6 laps or less. So oh yeah, Zero definitely knows he's got severe damage somewhere. He tries to be defensive, but he knows he's not going to be competitive throughout the race. Kind of a giveaway there to Grimjaw. Grimjaw makes it and puts himself in 2nd position. Zero has dropped 2 spots now, so now it's all about survival mode. Let's just see where Springbok is. Springbok is now heading into the chase all the way down to Murray's Corner. Zero is going up the mountain straight. Don't believe you will catch him. But I think Zero is losing at least 2 seconds a lap. So it's going to be close. Maybe not that close, but close enough. Close enough is what I'm going with. New leader, Porsche. Potentially taking the victory at the mountain. That's gonna be a good race. Consistency wins races is my philosophy, and that has been thus far a very consistent, solid race so far with Marius. Anyone that can drive the mountain and not make a mistake and then end up taking a victory is for sure the driver of the day. And I think as it stands at the moment with 10 minutes to go, Marius is most certainly capitalized everything and everyone dominated the track thus far. And maybe I shouldn't talk too early, but it just looks like he is got it in the bag. All up to him to win and lose it. All up to him. So he's going back in the pits. The Hulls, he's currently in 12th place, so go look at what he does at this moment. He's being chased down by the leader who's not far from him. Haven't really talked about the man, Mr. 666. He is being chased down by various guy who's quite a bit of laps behind him. And that's probably because a lot of incidents. Kudu Vars, on the other hand, he is in the pits and has remained in the pits for quite a bit of time. Stolz, on the other hand, has done exactly the same thing, and so has Gaffney. Looking at the race from a pit lane perspective, which is unfortunate, but reality is that it can happen. LNR Checo, though, didn't have the best of starts from what I recall. Qualified well, ended up way dead last, and has subsequent to that continued to race. Now he is now chasing down Brett Butler. So this is for position. Bentley versus Lambo. That is a big gain from Checo. I would say well done to the man. Even though your race started off badly, you still managed to push it through, persevere, and get the lap times down. I did not think he was still racing. So this is for position. Top 10 boys fighting it out for the last 10 spot. And again, this is going to be very close. I'd love to see what Brett does and how he handles it at the moment. He is definitely going to try and make that Audi. Ooh, that is technically an Audi. Lamborghini as wide as he can. Puts the car on the middle of the track. Goes defensive on the line. Checo looks to go on the outside, inside, left, right. Ooh, very defensive move there. Bit questionable whether that was under braking. Didn't look like it. Bit of weaving there by the Lambo. I would say questionable decisions, because you are placing your car in a location whereby it can cause severe accidents. Others might disagree with me completely. I'm going to keep an eye on this battle. There is no other real battle at the moment as they come down the mountain. Both boys have to be cautious to one another. They are carrying a lot of ping between them, so sudden moves will cause big accidents, and that's kind of what we're trying to avoid at any given moment. Now I know frustration might be there, and it just looks like that Bentley has got a lot of legs on him, but he's just not close enough to Butler as they head into the chase. Red going quite defensive where I don't think it's necessarily needed, and that does compromise his exit completely, which forces him to go very defensive again. So Bentley going on the outer line does make it stick. Needs to be aware that room needs to be made between these two. Oh, tried to make the undercut. Great move there by Checo though. Did see Brett going into the final corner there by Murray's. Being compromised, takes the wider line, capitalizes down the pit straight, gets him right there before Hull's corner, and then makes the position stick. What a move. Great move by him. Well tried and defended there by Butler. I mean, he gave it him all for a whole lap. Managed to try and keep that Bentley behind him. But that is what racing's all about. Oh, big oversteer there by him, as he outbrakes himself heading into The cutting, or cutting, I'm just gonna call it cutting because I don't know why is everything the like most of the like, there's a couple of corners on the mountain. It's like the chase, the cutting, the frog. Just just call it cutting and chase and get it done with. Yeah. Where are we? Springbok Gamer. Is he closer to Serra Racer than what we would have expected? Probably not as close as he could or would have been. I think if Serra keeps it where he stands at this moment with, I would believe the damage he's got. Again, I can't really see anything wrong with the car. So I would assume he's got a lot of damage because he's lost 12 seconds to Grimjaw, 14 seconds with that, so that's 20 odd seconds to the leader of the race in a short amount of time span. Hull's back in the pits again. Not too sure what has gone on there though. Don't think he needed to pit unless he picked up some damage somewhere along the line. Various Sky there, doing quite well there in 13th position. Scum still potentially finishing up in top 11 though, which is very, very good for him. 4 guys in the pit at the moment. 3 of them have been there for quite some time. Especially Gafbig. He's been there since the start of the race. 27 laps down, 27 laps into the race. Must have had a very severe incident at the beginning. Don't know what happened. And again, I do hope that any unfortunate incidents are logged so we can at least get our racing stewards to have a look at it. Again, this is not all about putting blame and blaming individuals. Accidents do happen. I think, in all fairness, I think I would have been very cautious this evening. Looking at everyone's connection to the server, it doesn't look ideal. Somehow I think we need to do and try and do something. Again, whether that's the ACC PC side of it, making it a lot harder for us, or is it them transitioning over to the PlayStation market that's making it harder for us? But something's not ideal. That's just my overview. I am welcoming anyone to tell me otherwise. Okay, Checo in 9th. He is chasing down T. Scott though. I don't think he's gonna have enough time to make up that position. T. Scott doing a phenomenal drive this evening as opposed to his teammate Stolz there, so good drive from him in his blue and yellow Aston. I think just for the heck of it, I'm gonna just spend a bit of time with this man in his car. Great drive there by Scott. You could see him being overly cautious coming up and down the mountain, but nothing wrong with that. What you want to do is try and survive. Try and survive the challenging Mount Panorama. Leader on the final lap. Let's go back to this man, Marius, the man in the Porsche. The individual that qualified in second place managed to keep his cool all the way throughout the race. Haven't seen him made a single mistake throughout the whole 28 laps thus far. Coming down for the last and final time at Conrad Strait. A very, very good victory from him, and I would say a deserving one, a deserving victory for this man, taking the championship to the next level as he finishes it off at the chase for one more time and then into Murray's corner, closing it off at a spectacular fashion. That is Marius taking his first victory, a well-deserved race from him. Phenomenal drive in total as he goes and parks it there at the end of the track. Not far behind him, Grimjaw ST in the Audi taking second place. Phenomenal drive by this individual as well. Zero Racer on the other hand, the man that pretty much had it in the bag for a third, 2/3 of the race, managed to bend it up somewhere, which I have completely missed. Had enough time for him to still take the final podium position, but has subsequently cost himself a winning victory there. But still a great drive from him. Springbok Kramer bringing it down in fourth. He and this individual, Mr. Michael, coming down. Conrad did have a phenomenal battle in mid-race conditions. Small incident between them. Again, I am not 100% sure how to call it. I think it's an either-or scenario. Either one of them should have been aware or judged it properly, or one of them should have just been a bit more cautious and take the battle coming down. But again, that's just me saying what I think is best. Fifth place for him though, great drive altogether. Insomnia, as consistent as he's been, and I haven't really featured this man again. He's had a great race, 6th position for him. Fantastic drive in his red Merc there. I think that's probably the most of the grid. Brett finalizing it off in 6th place. So let's go look at those timetables again. Turn to garage. Qualifying positions from everyone. Yeah. Whoops. Zero Racer did put it on pole. Didn't manage to put the victory there. But phenomenal drive from him. I'm just doing my normal administrative capturing point of view. From a racing point of view, race 1, Marius takes it by storm, followed by Grimjaw, and then Zero Racer in the last and final podium. For everyone else on the stream, I know it was just me this evening. Next week, hopefully, we will have my co-commentator back. I thank you all for the love and support. Do go out, like, subscribe, let all your friends know. But we will catch you next week at one of my favorite tracks, Paul Ricard. What's gonna happen, I don't know. Where we're gonna stand with the positions and the championship, that is certainly going to change. So don't go away. Next week, final race. To everyone else out there, thank you. Have a good night. God bless. See you next week.